Hello everybody and welcome back. We are back out here at our house again. You can see the roof is going on, looking a lot different. And you know, I did get these sunglasses back out again today. It's definitely a pretty sunny day out. Pretty cold yet though, still about 25 degrees. Let's head on up here now and see what else we have going on the inside of the house. I ended up losing audio for some reason in this portion of the video, so I'm just going to go ahead and provide some voiceover talking about what we're seeing here. So a lot of water in the garage yet. Looks like it got a lot colder during this time as that started to freeze up. The garage door over here on the left-hand side that's not installed yet, they were waiting for the concrete to be poured before that can be installed. So that's the reason that that's not installed yet. We did have to wait quite a while for the rest of our windows to come in. We got about half of the windows in and installed at this time. But at the time of me doing this voiceover, all of our windows have now been installed, so that it's exciting. They can go ahead, do the drywall, siding's going up. A lot of stuff is falling into place at the time of me filming this voiceover now, that there is a ton of progress going on. If you are in Michigan and interested in building, make sure you check out Mark Hammond at Forever Built Homes. I will pop the contact information up on the screen right now. He has been great to work with, and you definitely will not be disappointed with the quality of work he does. At this point, I'm just showing the guest bathroom. We ended up making a small, maybe a large change to this bathroom on the main floor. We ended up bumping the wall out about a foot or 16 inches into the guest bedroom flex room combo, just to provide us a little bit more room to get a larger vanity in here. We were originally going to put a pedestal sink in here, but wanted a little bit more room for storage, so wanted to put a vanity in here. Now up here, we are on the second floor looking out one of the bedrooms, and you can see a little bit more of that roofing that they're working on installing right now. You might be able to also see that some of our rough plumb is installed. Some of the HVAC was installed at this time as well. So that work was just starting to happen here. You can see the roof on the back porch all installed now. The pond way off there in the background. It was definitely starting to be some nicer weather. Finally getting that snow to melt. And yeah, I was just pointing out the pond way off there in the distance. If you can't tell, I am very excited about having the pond, getting it stocked with fish, installing an irrigation system out here. So all exciting things that we will be doing in the coming year. As we walk out to the pond, just thought I'd show you the view from the front of the house. You can probably hear me a lot better now that I actually flipped the microphone around too. So hopefully everything that I said in the house you were able to hear just now. As I walk back here, I'll tell you a little bit more information. So it is Thursday. These guys said that they should be done by Friday, so one more day. At the pace they're moving though, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually finish this up today. Things are moving really quick. And they're actually doing 6 nail on the shingles. The guy said especially in a wide open area like our house is, and that wind coming off the fields, they make sure that they strengthen them up nicely. Here's a view from back here at the pond. So yeah, all that wind's coming across this field, usually hitting the house on this side. So we definitely don't want those shingles lifting up. Bulldozer is still here from Finney Trucking. You know, ground's melting a little bit, but it has still got quite a bit of frost in it. Got a lot of trash that we'll probably be having to pick up after the house is getting close to being finished. A lot of foam insulation stuff, but these ditches will all need to be filled in. I'm looking at putting a shed back here, right here on this high spot. I've been bringing in a couple pallets for some minnows to be able to live on in this pond. Probably will be stocking those hopefully later on this spring. Bulldozer is also here because of all the fill. All this topsoil we have over here needs to be spread back on top of the clay. Again, really waiting for the frost to be gone, and I would like them to go ahead and push a little bit of the clay that's over here on this side of the pond out, maybe around the edges, to make that a little bit deeper. Really just worried about us potentially having a summer that we don't have a lot of rainfall to refill the pond and water level dropping way down. I don't like areas that will be really shallow, because that's usually the areas that cattails live in. So I'd like all of the pond to have at least 3 foot of water in it all the way around the edge, so that that's the depth that I read that cattails don't survive in. But down here, pretty easy to see that the pond has filled up quite a bit. So the ledge that was down here used to be at 15 feet in depth, so about 10 feet deep from the bottom of the pond up. I'd say we're probably getting pretty close to 13, 14 feet deep in the pond right now. Quite a bit of water already in here. You can kind of see where it's been running off from over here and then running down from this side. Probably actually do have a little bit of running off today with how not warm it is out, but with the amount of sun that we have out with this clay underneath the snow, it's probably melting it a little bit. And yeah, you can kind of see it trickling down through this trench a little bit, melting off from the snow pile here, and then ending up down here in the bottom of the pond. The ice is probably not very thick here, probably only about half an inch thick, so I'm not going to go out there and walk on it. I'd like to go ahead and get that trash out of there. That should go ahead and float though. I'll grab that out later on. Let's head on back up to the back of the house. I'll show you what things look like from up there. And then I want to show you what we were working on this last weekend. We're going to jump into a little bit of the drone video now. So you can see this side of the house is pretty much all shingled, just finishing up the last little bit there on top of the flex room. We'll come around to the front of the house and take a little bit closer look at that side. But yeah, these guys really hammered, no pun intended, this roof out really fast. They were able to install it really soon. Once the snow melted off the particle board and that got dried out a little bit, these guys got out here right away and, you know, got this roof installed for us. So front of the house, you can see a couple of those windows installed. Looks a little bit bare with half of those windows missing, but at the time of me filming this voiceover, all of our windows have now been installed. Insulation is installed, and they are working on doing the drywall and the siding, so the house looks completely different. The windows were holding things up quite a bit, but we were definitely willing to wait for the black trim windows from Anderson. Definitely high quality windows, so you know, they are worth the wait. May have delayed the project a little bit, but our builder has been great to work with. If anyone in Michigan is looking for a builder, make sure you contact Mark Hammond at Forever Built Homes. I will pop his contact information up on the screen right now. You can also check out his website in the description down below. I can't say it enough. He has been great to work with. You can definitely tell the build quality in the house he is constructing us. We are very impressed. I'm taking the drone all the way up to 400 feet in altitude now, able to take in what the scenery looks like. We have the house over here on the left-hand side and the pond over here on the right-hand side that is filling a little bit more with these warmer days that we are starting to have. I mean, when the sun's out, snow starts to melt, that pond starts filling pretty fast. And here is the view from the back side of the house. So again, you can see some of that wrap that ripped off up there by the large living room windows and then off the corner of this side of the house. So yeah, that will need to go back on before they go ahead and install the windows, and definitely before they put the siding on. I'm gonna keep walking this direction up to the road up here and show you guys what we worked on this past weekend. So way back here at the entrance of the farm field, you can see the house way back there in the background, is where our power will be coming in. So this will be the first utility pole will be going here, and then the second one will be going way down there on the way far side of the other side of those stumps. So this looks a lot different. This is what we worked on this weekend. Is in the fall time frame, I had cut down all these trees for the power line to come through here. This is going to be overhead, and then we go underground back there. But I had a ton of these trees just laying here along the side of the farm field. So my dad brought his tractor out here. We hauled all of these trees and brush that was along the side of this ditch out into the field and burnt that up. And then we went ahead and cleaned up this pine tree wood. So there was a lot of down trees falling over in here. So we cleaned them all up nicely. There's still a couple of ash trees that are dead and will be falling down eventually, but we ran out of time, so we didn't end up cutting them down. So when these ash trees fall down, they'll probably take out a couple more of the pine trees, but I guess that's what nature will take its course. This area looks a heck of a lot better now with all of this cleaned up and a little bit of the ditches now opened up. Interestingly enough, let me actually go backwards now. We did have a hawk out here. This hawk is pretty interesting. He's out here almost every time we are. I'm surprised he's not out here right now, but he usually sits in these trees and watches us. Me and Jessica were digging through some of these barn beams over here a couple weeks ago, and he was sitting right up there watching us dig through those barn beams to pick out a beam for above our fireplaces, the mantle. And I think what he's actually doing, he's up here and he knows that potentially we might be scaring food out. We might scare a mouse or something out, and he's right there ready to grab it. I wasn't able to find it earlier this year, but I did find it now. There's a culvert right down in here. It's like a little tiny 4-inch corrugated culvert where all that water drains out of this ditch. So where I was talking about all that water that's on the one side of our driveway that needs to drain over this way, that's where we'll have to be putting in some of that tubing underneath the driveway, some sort of like culvert. I'm going to use some SDR 35 green pipe. Just got to make sure I have it plenty deep, at least 18 inches underneath the driveway, so no one comes across it and crushes it. And hopefully that will be actually after cement trucks are out of here. Hopefully they can pour the basement and the garage area before we put that in. But yeah, definitely am glad that this ditch is at least draining that direction, whereas I didn't think it was going anywhere. But right up here where all the trucks are parked, it's pretty easy to see on the one side there's a lot of water, and then over here on the side of the ditch everything has all drained out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, probably throw the drone up in the air now and get a few of those aerial videos, and the next time I'm out here they will have this roof complete. Here's a little bit more drone video. You can see the drone is facing over here on the side that our new driveway will be coming in from. So this will be the front of the house. This driveway, we had to wait quite a while for it to dry up, for the frost to get out of it, because we not only had frost in the sand that we hauled over there to install this driveway, but there was also still frost in the clay and topsoil dirt underneath that sand that was being insulated. So once that went out, then we started to get rid of some of the water in that driveway. Here's this area I was just talking about where all the water is over here on this side, coming from the other driveway down this direction. And right here where we blocked off this ditch that goes from there to there, you can see all the water is drained off on this side, and yet all the water is stuck now over here on this side. So we're gonna put a 6-inch culvert underneath this whole area in case we end up filling in some of this with dirt, leveling it off, grading it off a little bit more, that water can drain from there. End up going over here to this ditch and then draining out to the road. In case anyone is interested, this is the shingles that we're using. So we have Certainteed by St. Gobain, Shadow Ridge, and here's the color Weatherwood. All the guys just went to lunch. You can see this is the ridge vent that they're using. Not sure what brand it is. Lomanco. And might be able to step out the window here and see how this roof looks. Everything's looking really nice. Looks like they're heating up a little bit of the shingles so that they're easier to form here. Ridge vent, ridge cap. The rest of them looks like they're just starting to work up here. So looks like they have everything laid down, ready to go. Looks like there's a little bit of water actually coming down from up there right now. They're using DeWitt Cool BTF 1000 cross-woven synthetic underlayment. So it says it's better than felt, so that's what's being used. And then I think this is just for the edge, so that you don't get any ice dams and have that water end up going into your attic. So here's a full width shingle. You can see number nails 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 nails in that shingle. These ones are a little bit close over here on this side, but I am not a professional roofer, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. And the rest of the roof up here have one of our vents. That's the vent that's coming out for the furnace over there on that side. Last little bit of drone video here now. This is the area where we ended up cleaning all the trees that we had cut down for the installation of the overhead power line. Also cleaned up a little bit more of that pine tree woods and ended up burning it over here in the field on the right hand side. At the time of me filming this voiceover, I'm trying to crank out at least 2 videos a week to get caught up on these videos. I know you guys are complaining that it's springtime and there is still snow on the ground in the videos that I am working on posting right now. So I'm trying to get through them. Bear with me. In the drone video shot here, this is where our last electric pole will be. And then we'll be going underground from this point all the way up to the house. But also, at the time of me filming this voiceover, our farm field has been planted. So they got soybeans growing out there. And those have just started to sprout out, to pop out of the topsoil and starting to grow. Great shot over the top of our house. We're probably about 50 feet in altitude. Fairly low. I was using the drone to get a little bit better look as to the process of how they were putting this roof on. So it looks like they go ahead, put that freeze edge on, and then the felt that is better than felt goes up and over that, and then they can go ahead lay the shingles down. Once they get all the way up to the top peaks, they can go ahead, put that ridge vent down, put the shingle caps on, and complete it. But yeah, I was really just using the drone to see if these were 6 nailed or 4 nailed, but you can definitely see that they are all 6 nailed, so definitely robust enough to be able to handle the high winds that will probably be coming off this side of the farm field. And we did have a couple 40, 50 mile per hour wind days after they installed these shingles. It must have been warm enough for some of that tar to heat up on the backside of the shingles and those to adhere down though, because we didn't end up losing any. So that is a great sign. Great backing up a little bit. Can take in the whole backside of the house here now. Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Also make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next videos I will be posting, and leave your questions, comments, and suggestions below.